This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Thursday, August the 16th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, a recently retired pediatric consultant says Barbados has an obesity epidemic among children. Former head of the pediatrics at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Professor Anne St. John, is also warning that there is therefore need for urgent intervention to save the island's children.
It's not very easy. You have to be proactive with these interventions. It's time-consuming, frustrating, difficult, and costly at times. Where do we begin? From the very start. Start at 8 for Apple and go up to Z, not in the middle. With the entire family, initiatives together. If the little Johnny is obese and his mother is obese, you can't be disciplining him at the table when his mother is having 3 helpings of food and she's eating ad lib. You see, it goes by example, so everybody has to help.
An independent senator is branding the rate of government's new departure tax as ridiculously high that will result in a significant fall-off in visitor arrivals. Speaking yesterday afternoon in the upper chamber on the airport service tax, which comes into force on October the 1st, to raise $95 million, the Reverend Michael Maxwell warned that it makes Barbados uncompetitive when compared to other Caribbean destinations. In her June mini-budget, Prime Minister Mia Mottley announced in her fiscal measures that passengers flying outside of the region will have to pay US $70 and those traveling within the Caribbean $35 US.
And this for me will negatively impact upon what we have already started to build in terms of our tourism industry. That is my concern, and so I share, like some of the others that have the concern that this rise will affect the frequent flyers, it would affect the business travelers, it would affect those who are coming here for holiday with a big family. And so I believe it will have indeed a negative or significant impact, maybe a very significant fall off in the numbers of those who come and then depart from our shores.
But Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Dr. Jerome Walcott, stoutly defended the imposition of the levy, especially in the light of the need to upgrade the airport.
So in a nutshell, the issue of this levy is to ease the burden on government, and certainly the taxpayers, and shift it to those who are utilizing the airport. It is not uncommon. It is done throughout the world. Indeed, some of the countries in the Caribbean, I believe St. Lucia has won 100 US, a similar levy. And they have showed an increase in passenger arrivals by over 11% in spite of this introduction of this levy.
In sports now, the Jamaica Talawas have chalked up yet another victory in the Hero Caribbean Premier League competition. Last night, they beat the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots in Kingston by 47 runs. The Talawas batted first and scored 178 for 4 in their allotted 20 overs, but the Patriots were only able to make 131 for 9. The next match is tomorrow between the St. Lucia Stars and the Trinbago Knight Riders in St. Lucia.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Big businesses in Guyana owe City Hall more than $4 billion in property taxes. The details in this 8GPTV's Yanis Abrams report.
Some members of the business community in Georgetown continue to overlook their social responsibility to the municipality. Town Clerk Royston King says the City Council is thoroughly stretched out by the situation.
We have an outstanding amount of over $4 billion owed to this council by mainly big businesses, those who neglect to pay their rates and those who are undervaluing their property. So they are paying, instead of, for example, commercial rates of 250%, they are paying domestic rate of 40%.
According to the town clerk, it's quite an uphill task to recover outstanding property rates.
The trouble we have is that the process to recover outstanding sums from defaulters, it is so cumbersome that it serves as a disincentive to the council to actually collect this money.
And on the global front, the Vatican has declined to respond to an explosive grand jury report detailing decades of sexual abuse and cover-ups by priests and the bishops in Pennsylvania, refusing even to say whether church officials in Rome have read the damaging documents. But in the United States and elsewhere, pressure is mounting on the Pope Francis to address a rapidly escalating crisis that has spread across several continents, from Australia to Latin America. More from the CNN's Jean Caceres.
Massive investigation, and it was with countless numbers of law enforcement, prosecutors, other attorneys within the Office of the Attorney General, and of course the grand jurors. Officials are saying that this report is the largest, most comprehensive document into child sexual abuse within the Catholic Church that has ever been produced in the United States. This report took 2 years. It was written by 23 Pennsylvania grand jurors who listened to dozens of witness testimonies and witnesses and studied documents about alleged child sex abuse in 6 dioceses, which involved 54 of Pennsylvania's 67 counties. The report states that the testimony was heard from dozens of witnesses and 500,000 pages of internal documents were subpoenaed. It also states that there were credible allegations found against over 300 priests. Over 1,000 child victims were identifiable, but it's believed that the true numbers are in the thousands.
And that's news and sports. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.